Good morning, everyone. This is Johnny Giordi, DataSelf founder and CEO. Thank you for joining us this Thursday. We're going to have a pretty informative half-an-hour session. Before we get started, just to let you know, the lines are muted, and if you have questions throughout the presentation or at the end, you can use the GoToMeeting chatting box to make a question, and then we're going to be addressing at the end of it. Thanks for joining us for the analytics and BI for Sage 500. Before I jump into the presentation, I just want to give a quick overview of what DataSelf's vision is and why I founded the company back in 2005. So I'm an electrical engineer in my background, and in my early career, I spent several years doing heavy-duty programming. So I'm very good at programming, or was maybe, it's been so long. And then eventually, I fell in love with the business area. I had my MBA, became a business person, and then I joined the business intelligence industry back in the year 2000. And in 2005, I decided to found DataSelf. And the main point was, as a programmer, for me, building reports, dashboards, slice and dice queries was easy. I was a programmer. I was familiar with complicated IT tools, databases, you name it. But my peers, my business people peers, they were struggling. They would have to ask me or someone else, a consultant, IT, to get the reports done. Not efficient, not productive. It would take a long time. Even myself, it would take a lot of time to come up with a report or slice and dice a report. So my vision was, hey, there are great technologies out there to, build and facilitate the job. However, usually they are Fortune 2000 solutions. They're very expensive, and usually they're fairly complicated to deploy for Fortune 2000 companies. So my vision was, hey, I think I can improve this industry. I can look in the upper market, best of the breed technologies, and find ones that I can simplify, bring to the mid-market, to mid-sized companies, and make it better. So the vision was very simple when I started the business. I want to find top-notch technologies for the Fortune 2000 companies. I want to make it simpler. I want to make it better for mid-sized companies. So I started this journey back in 2005, and then we came a long way. What I'm going to be covering today is the latest and greatest, and I hope you find this session informative. So let's go for it. So I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about why analytics. I'm going to do a product presentation and then jump into a Q&A session. So most people, when they come to us, they're looking for better analytics out of Sage 500 in one of these three areas: sales, supply chain, or financials. Some people come from other areas, payroll, project accounting, you name it, but these are the most popular. So let's take a look at, what usually people are looking for out of those areas. On the sales side, one of the most critical is just having a better understanding of your sales and profitability across the board. You want to see, who you're selling to, how profitable they are, maybe what products you're selling, how well the salespeople are doing. Just being able to have a good understanding of, growth, decline, year over year is critical. And our technology provides awesome ways to do that on the fly, anytime, anywhere. Some companies, they have more elaborate ordering invoice system. It may take a long time to invoice things, and sometimes there are delays. People don't understand why. They want to fix those issues. So analytics can also help people analyzing those trends and quickly tackle potential issues in a timely fashion. Sales commission, many companies are spending hours and sometimes days compiling commissions at the end of the month or whatever the period that you're looking at. Very labor-intensive, error-prone process. Our technology usually can automate 100% of the process. It becomes something anytime, anywhere you can find how sales commission are adding up throughout the month. Forecasting, you want to see how you can forecast your sales. And sometimes that information is not only on Sage 500, maybe looking past history to forecast your future demand, or maybe you're combining the data with, Excel sheets coming from salespeople, or maybe from your clients, you name it. So forecasting, big topic, and this tool can add significant value. If you get into big contracts, big and long contracts, let's say with big retail boxes like Walmart and Target, you better have the right pricing strategy to be a win-win situation for you and for your client. So understanding the components that go into the pricing strategy can be critical, and analytics can help you with that as well. And finally, when you're analyzing all of these sales things, sometimes some of them require information coming from something else, maybe a point of sale system, again, Excel files, information coming from your client. So this solution can easily consolidate all that information to help with your sales analysis. Another area, supply chain. One of the most popular is plain inventory management. Where are your products? How long they have been sitting on inventory? What is the turnover? Is it changing over a year, over time? Big questions that analytics can help you address. You may have sophisticated inbound and outbound routing logistics. Products may be coming from overseas. It may take weeks or months. Maybe your shipping to your clients can also be there are some inefficiencies, and analytics can help you analyze that. You may be collaborating with your suppliers, with your customers, and your shipping companies. So supply chain collaboration, exchange information, and get that into your analysis can be very helpful. If your purchasing processes are elaborate, we can also pinpoint places that can be improved. Forecasting, the same way with sales. If you're trying to forecast if you're going to be able to ship, your products or deliver your services on time, this tool can help you analyze that. And again, data integration. If you have data coming from other data sources, Excel, SQL, Access databases, we can easily consolidate to have a single version of the truth. On the financial side, Sage 500 has a very comprehensive financial package for reporting purposes. But if you're spending too much time putting it together on an ongoing basis, talk with us. We can usually automate that process significantly, sometimes 100% of the process. If you have multi-company framework and you have a hard time consolidating them, talk to us. We can probably help a lot on that front as well. And finally, if simply your decision makers are trying to be able to slice and dice your financials anytime, anywhere, we provide this functionality that can give you access through mobile devices, web interface, anytime, anywhere. So as I mentioned, we also cover project accounting, payables, purchasing, receivables, and so forth, but these areas are the most popular ones. So let's talk a little bit about, business intelligence and analytics. And nothing better than talking about, Gartner, which is one of the most reputable companies making technology assessment in the Fortune 2000 world. So they look at the big boys. This is the latest Magic Quadrant for BI and analytics. It just came out last month. They do this once a year. Make a long story short, the more a vendor is to the right on this bottom axis, the more it is important for Fortune 2000 companies. So not so critical for mid-sized companies. But the higher on the y-axis, the better. That means the vendor is doing better, whatever their vision is. Now here, these are the top 2 vendors highlighted. Tableau is right now considered the king of the hill when it comes to analytics, dashboarding, ease of use for business people. They're doing an awesome job. Last year they went IPO, very successful IPO. Microsoft is considered the leader in the BI infrastructure framework, for data warehousing, databases. They have an outstanding platform. So what about them? What about DataSelf? Well, it goes back to my vision when I started the business. I said that I want to go to the upper market, find outstanding technology, top-notch technology that will work well for the mid-market. I want to make it simpler, I want to make it better. So what DataSelf does is we take the top two, the leaders in their own specialties, Tableau being visualization, we take Tableau. Microsoft BI with the SQL Server framework is the leader. So we take the top two leaders, we combine with our own technology to simplify them and remove programming from the equation, and we amplified that framework by adding more than 2,000 reports, dashboards, and KPIs out of the box. So that's DataSelf Analytics. Top two technology in the market, simplified and amplified. Let me just reinforce this idea because it's pretty important. Top-notch technology, the ETL eliminates the programming from this top-notch vendors, so it's simpler. And then we add, the core team of the DataSelf has been working with this BI and mid-market ERP systems like Sage 500 for over 14 years. So there's a very comprehensive out-of-the-box solution, kind of plug and play. So at the end of the day, what we sell is ease of use. This is super easy for business people, anytime, anywhere, to access their devices through desktop and web and mobile devices. They can be on a bar, in a call, in a meeting. So easy for business people. Also easy for IT to maintain the framework on the back end. It's fast to deploy. Usually it takes hours or days to deploy. And if you try to build the same technology, the same framework from scratch, it's going to take you months or years to come up with something, probably a fraction of what we have out of the box. So speed, fast deploy is another value we provide. It's low cost. It's going to cost you a fraction of the same solution if you build it from scratch or buy from competitors. And finally, as I mentioned, expertise. We've been building top-notch BI solution for mid-sized companies using Sage 500 for about 14 years. We know Sage 500, we know BI, we know how to put them together, we know how companies like yours are in need for reporting data analysis. So we got also expertise. That's our core value, and that circles back to the vision of the company, simplifying and amplifying top-notch technology. Alrighty, and because we use top-notch components, best-of-breed technology, super fast, we compare this DataSelf Analytics like driving a Ferrari. It's fast, it's sophisticated, it's flashy. Now, by far, it does not cost a Ferrari. It's more like a Toyota, sometimes even less than that. But, it's the Ferrari of the analytics in the mid-market. So let's take this baby for a spin. Let's buckle up, put our helmets, because it's going to be a fast ride. So in my presentation, I'm going to cover three main topics. I'm going to show secured access to DataSelf Analytics. I'm going to show some sample KPIs out of the box solution. And then I'm going to show some ad hoc examples. Buckle up and let's go for a spin. Alrighty. So most of the time, people will access DataSelf Analytics reports and dashboards through a web portal like this one. They can use actually a desktop, web, or mobile devices such as an iPad or a smartphone. Now, when you log into this portal, which is highly secured, you only can view or access your own dashboards. So if you're a salesperson, you see the sales team dashboard. If you're a person from the finance team, you see the finance team dashboard. Okay, very, very cool. It's kind of user-driven, secured. Now, when I log into one of this portal, I can access, let's say, one of these dashboards. I'm going to open top customers by sales dashboard. When I do that, then a third level of security may kick in, which is if I'm the rep for California, I would only see my top customers in California, while the rep for Florida opens the same dashboard and views Florida, top customers in Florida, while the big boss opens the same dashboard and views the top customers across all territories. So security can also be granular. A single dashboard, it can serve many different people, and each person will see only their own information or related information. So that's how security works. Now, let me show some of these out-of-the-box dashboards out of the 2000 and see how informative they are. You may be a person who loves charts or maybe not, so I'm going to show a little bit of both. And when we build these dashboards, we try to make them informative, simple, and insightful. And this is one example. This is an example of a top performer dashboard. In this case, I'm looking at sales, and I'm looking at my top customers this year to date. We have lots of top performer reports and dashboards, for sales, for purchasing, payables, receivables, GL, you name it. Let's take a look at this one in more detail. So this one has bars, one bar for each customer. Bigger bars mean bigger sales on this axis here. Each bar has a color theme that relates to how profitable the customer is. So right now I can easily tell, red is not very profitable, that one of my top customers is fairly unprofitable. Is that okay? Maybe not. Maybe I need to work closely with this customer to improve profitability. So very insightful. We also have these black dots that show profitability on this x-axis. So it doesn't take me long to look at this dashboard and have an insight of my top customers and how profitable they are. That can be critical for your business, so very insightful. We have other top performer dashboards that can be even more intriguing for some businesses. Usually analyzing the tip of the growth curve of your key performance indicators is critical. And we have lots of those top performers. This is an example, looking from sales, from customers. So looking at the top growth and decline, top customers by sales growth and decline since, let's say, last year to date or last quarter to date, for instance. These are the customers growing the most in sales since last year. Most likely, happy customers, salespeople working closely with them, so maybe no problem. But how about the top customer by sales decline? If you have recurring customers, some of them may not be so happy. Do you know why? Are you trying to fix it? Well, knowing who they are is the first step towards that. Again, looking at the top of the tip of the growth curve of your major KPIs is critical. Maybe you're looking at your quantity on hand, maybe your cost on hand, maybe your expenses. We have lots of reports looking at this kind of perspective. Let's look at another example that is also usually pretty intriguing. Is what we call also exception reporting. Exception reporting helps you look at trends that are no longer happening, and that also can be critical looking at your major KPIs. Again, this is from a sales standpoint. In my sample database, I have recurring customers, and this one is showing me which of my recurring customers are no longer buying. In this case, it shows sales in the last 60 days. But not in the last 30 days. Maybe you want to look in the last half year sales, but not in the last 90 days. You name it. Very easy to change the buckets. The point is, exception reporting shows you things that are no longer happening. Maybe why you're no longer selling some products. Or show me products that have been sitting on the inventory for more than 60 days. Those metrics are usually critical, and you should be paying attention to them. And again, we have lots of reports looking at exception reporting. Let's look at the final example, and then let's make some ad hoc exercise here. So this dashboard here shows sales by geography. I have sales by state, bigger bubbles, bigger sales. Each bubble is sliced by the aggregation of the invoice size, so larger deals in blue, medium, and small. I can change this query using this slicer and see if things are growing or declining over years. So very easy for a business person to make this kind of change. Now, if I'm the VP of sales for the VP of sales I'm meeting with the West Coast, I can easily choose with my fingers on my iPad those 3 states. And when I do that, the whole dashboard changes. So now this I have a list of salespeople with the gross profit selling to my West Coast states, and these are the products being shipped. Maybe if I only want to see sales for one of them, I can click, let's say, on Sam. And right now, I changed my dashboard again to show just sales of Sam and what products being shipped. Very easy. Business people can do this anytime, anywhere with web, mobile, and mobile devices. But what if I'm a power user? I'm a more sophisticated user, and I can actually want to slice and dice this further. Well, then I have the Edit button, only available for power users. But as a VP of sales, I am a power user. And actually, we have many VP of sales, CEOs, CFOs that do this, which is extensive ad hoc analysis. Before I show how the edit mode works, let me tell the story. The engine behind this tool was designed by Stanford University professors who studied how business people go through analyzing business data and having insights out of it. It's a journey. It's a process. You know, they look at the data and they need to interact with it. And that's why when they ask someone else to do the report, you know, like a consultant on IT, and that's why it takes so many interactions. They ask, you know, for a report. The IT goes on by hours, sometimes, or days, comes back, and the business person, oh, cool, but can you change this? Can you summarize that way? Then here he goes again. Wait a little bit of time. The IT comes back. Oh, cool, but what if you had a chart? You summarize differently. You put another filter. It's a journey. It takes interactions until the business person gets to the final destination. It is what it is. So these Stanford University professors studied the process and came up with an engine that helps decision makers walk through the journey with no assistance. They can do it by themselves. In our experience, more than 70% of the custom reporting needs of business people, they can do it themselves anytime, anywhere, no IT required. More than 70%. Alrighty, having said that, let's see how it goes. You know, in the edit mode, I have all of the queries in my initial dashboard. Assume I'm a business person that I want to see numbers by the penny. So instead of seeing a chart, I'm going to click Show Me, and I'm going to select just a grid approach. Very quickly and easily, I can change that. Okay, cool. So now I see sales by the penny. Well, actually, I want to slice this and see sales by salesperson by product line. Well, I can go to the data panel and find my product and find product line. There it is. I just drag and drop into my report, let's say to my rows. And there it is. By salesperson, by product line. Maybe I want to break down by customer, by whatever. I just come to the list, find the reporting parameter, pick it, drag and drop. Maybe before my salesperson, between, or at the end. You just drag and drop, very easy, very intuitive, and there you go, by salesperson, by customer, by product line. Maybe you want to see by year, by quarter, by month, fiscal period, week, rolling months. Usually, it's just a matter of dragging and dropping, and then you'll see the information right there. Everything is drag and drop, fairly intuitive. Maybe you are on a desktop and you want to download the information to Excel. Easy. You can right-click, choose View Data, and you can see the underlying data, all the records, all the details. If you look at sales, invoice number, invoice date, ship to, name, you name it. Everything goes to Excel, and now you can do more further manipulation. That's it. I hope you have enjoyed the Ferrari spin. Let's go back here to the PowerPoint and do the Q&A session. So as I mentioned, please use the GoToMeeting box to ask questions. And let's see if we have any questions so far. So yes, we have questions here. First question is from Tom. So the question is, how long does it take to deploy the solution? Tom, thanks for the question. As I mentioned before, it usually takes hours or days to deploy the solution, but in real life, until we have access to your server, we install, we ask you for the testing, we go through training, usually takes weeks until you're ready to use it. So it's hours or days worth of effort spread out in a couple, maybe a few weeks. Tom, thank you for your question. Let's see more questions here. So one question is, can your program integrate data from CRM systems? Question from Kathy. Kathy, thank you for your question. So actually, yes. Let me switch here to my system architecture. So we can import data from any data source, CRM, Excel, Access, and other databases. Actually, out of the box, we already have mapped, Sage CRM, Sales Logics, and we're also building connectors to other mid-market CRM systems. We bring the data from, the Sage 500 and other data sources into a separate ultralight data warehouse framework, easy and fast to deploy and maintain. We plug our on-premises or in the cloud. We have both approaches, analytics component, and then at the end of the day, when your business people are analyzing your Sage 500 and let's say CRM information, they can go to a single place and all the information is there for their analysis. Pretty fast and pretty easy. Thank you for the question. Let's see if we have more questions. We have one more question here. I'm going to cover what Sage 500 ERP versions do we cover? Peter, thanks for the question. So actually, if you go to our website, let me show you that so you know how to retrieve this information later on if you need to. You can go to the analytics by product, choose Sage 500, and then here it says what versions we cover. So we go back many years ago. Actually, on this page here, later, probably tomorrow, we're going to have on this link a recording to this webinar so you can watch it or forward to other people. We also have here, test drive requests. You can see a presentation, sign up for our news. There's brochures and many different materials. So I encourage you to visit our website. We also have blogs. We have knowledge base, videos, bunch of stuff. So hopefully you'll find the website informative. Already we have more questions, but unfortunately we're running out of time, so we will respect your busy lives. Here's my contact information, my email, my cell phone, my Twitter account. I encourage you to follow us in our Twitter and LinkedIn. If you have more questions, if you want to discuss more topics, feel free to do it anytime. I hope you have a great Thursday. Thank you very much for your time in business, and I hope you reconnect soon again. Thank you. Have a happy Thursday.